Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rush Racing League Division number 2 here. It is time for one of the best tracks on the calendar. It is also the home track here for Rush Racing League as we go ahead and get ready for one of the closing rounds of the season. It is round 15 here tonight at Australia, the home track of Rush Racing League. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a tight street circuit with some good overtaking opportunities. And I think we're going to see probably some of the best racing of the season yet here at Albert Park. My name is Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus. I'll be one of your hosts and commentators here tonight. And alongside me is Aardvark. How you doing today, mate?
Well, I've already done Div 4 tonight, so I'm happy to be back for Div 2 tonight. As we know, we've only got 17 cars on the grid, but that's more than enough to create some amazing racing action tonight. So I can't wait for that.
Indeed. So they have you pulling double duty tonight, I see.
More or less on my own grounds, but yeah.
Well, definitely drink some lemon water when we're done with this, so that way it can help your voice box, and you can definitely get some. And make sure throat hate you less. As we go ahead and get to racing here, we are letting our first few cars on track. So, I mean, there's only 4 rounds of this championship left to go, including the round we are currently in, and the championship is getting pretty well heated as after round 14 in Austria, Oblivion still sits on top with 223 points, followed by Watanabe and Dito, 181 to 170. And then as we take a look in the Constructors' Championship here today, it's actually still pretty close, actually, with most of the teams. Ferrari have 289 points to their name, Williams with 262, and then Alpine with 257 are top 3 teams. So, and then we take a look at the overalls as well, which is another one that's really going to come down to the wire as we are getting closer and closer to the end of the season. Right now, Aston Martin are ahead with 1,374 points, with McLaren with 1,335. So, pretty close stuff here. So, we're definitely going to want to keep an eye. Watanabe has been on absolutely excellent form as of late. He has won very comfortably in the last 2 races ever since silly season. The question is here, Aardvark, do you think he'll be able to keep it up here tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Anything could happen tonight. As we know, racing is a mystery until everyone crosses that checkered flag.
Indeed, 100%. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this one goes. It is only short quality this time around, so it is one singular qualifying session to set the entirety of the grid. As Sprinter Giggles will go to make his way through sector number 2 into the split DRS zone as he makes his way through the sweeping left-hander, and now he's going to go through the chicane where you can really make or break your lap times here. As Lockie will retire from the session, he does have a quali ban that he is serving, and also 10 seconds of penalties that he's going to serve post-race, so a pretty rough one there for Lockie, but he will go in and take those penalties now. And then, well, I mean, with this track in general, it's pretty easy to get some pretty solid overtakes here. So I think Lockie will have no issue at least gaining some positions. I'm not saying he's gonna do a Max Verstappen in Brazil 2024 where he just shot up from 17th to win, but I think he can at least make up a few positions.
Yeah, definitely. As Camillo goes fastest with a 16.4. So amazing lap for his first one in short quali here today.
Indeed, yeah. So with short quality, it's going to be pretty much fast and furious all the way through. So normally, in this case, we would lose P15 and P16 as Zenitsu jumps up to the top of the timing table with a 116. Now Watanabe puts in a 115.5, so he's already about half a second faster on his banker lap. So Squash Dodge about 3 tenths behind. So Watanabe has just been absolutely on fire here. In recent times, he dominated at Coda, dominated in Austria. Looking to make it 3 for 3 here since the summer break. Dino making his way through the last couple of corners now, and where's this time going to stand compared to everybody else? It's the massive run down to start finish straight, and he will actually jump up to provisional pole with a time of a 1:15.464. So that's a very, very good time for Dino. Somebody might be able to match it as the track gets more rubbered in, like we usually do see around the final 30, or not 30 minutes, final 3.5 minutes, I would say. But do you think we're going to see?
Yeah, Ruckus, we have a hot lap request on Plugger.
All right, indeed, and we'll go ahead and hop on board with that. And actually, I will let you take this one away as he's coming through the last couple of corners. Once he begins his lap, I'll actually pass this one on to you.
I think he's about to complete his lap, unfortunately. We've missed it.
So we'll get
but he
him
is
for another
coming.
one.
Yeah, we'll get him for his second or third run. PTS savvy. PSD savvy, I mean.
Alright, yeah, next time we'll get a lap next time around. So next time he comes out for a hot lap, we'll get an onboard lap with him. But yeah, just watching as some other drivers come through, and Daniel is going to come across, and he will take a time of, he'll only stay in P12. Do you have any crazy predictions for this qualifying, or do you think it's going to be, it's going to specifically be like one of our, the only phrase that comes to mind is usual suspects, but one of our regulars in the top for qualifying?
I definitely reckon that someone like Vito could take a pole over the likes of Wonton. So that's my prediction for pole. That's my outrageous prediction for pole at the moment, because he's fast, but he's not exactly known to be up there in qualifying, but he does have the race pace to get there.
Indeed, yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. A driver I'm not saying he's gonna get pole position or anything, but a driver I will be keeping an eye on because he's had some pretty solid performances as of late. And I actually just realized something. Oblivion and Dito are tied on lap times, by the way.
Yeah, they are, but due to Dito setting the lap time first, he will take a provisional pole at the moment. So that is really, really funny to see. A matched lap time is always a crazy thing in the sport, especially when it really does come down to milliseconds in F1. So seeing them on the exact same time is really, really crazy.
Yeah, it's unusual. It's extremely cool, but it's just unusual to see that. So, I mean, somebody's going to have to go ahead and give it another go to try to improve on that lap time. Right now, a lot of the drivers are in the pits as Ozzy Minero is making his way through the last couple of corners to go to set his first time of the session. And he's going to come across the line, and it is going to be a time good enough for 10th position at 1:16.3 for the Alpine driver. So now we do have a lot of drivers currently on outlaps or on a full lap now, just like Camilo, who is 3/10 up on his previous time.
Yeah, definitely. Basically everyone from 1st to 15th is separated by 1.2 seconds, so not much over the board. That's pretty good from everyone. Yeah, this is going to be quite interesting as we see the top 6 are only separated by 6/10. As we see Camillo move up into 5th position as he comes across the line. And we won't see his teammate Sprinter Giggles improve, unfortunately. Or his teammate might be on a hot lap.
Yeah,
Yeah, by the looks of it, he's on a hot lap.
and actually to drive your point home even further, with Camilo's time, the top 6 are now separated by less than 4/10 of a second. So it is really crazy up here at the front, which is pretty exciting to see, especially because Burrito Man is a substitute, so he's a reserve here tonight, and he is up into 4th, only 1.6 tenths away from the pole time. So that is a very, very strong substitute number. As we actually see the two McLarens giving each other a bit of a tow here. Sprinter Giggles is going to come through the last couple of corners now. He did get a little bit of an extra boost during the last DRS zone. We will see if he's going to be able to get this lap time on the board. Can he do it? He's going to come across the line. And he will improve up into 7th by about half a second. So the improvement is definitely there, Aardvark, but as we are now effectively in the second half of this qualifying session, these lap times are really going to kick up.
Yeah, that they'll get lower and lower as the session progresses. It is highly possible that we could see a low 15, even a possible flat 15 at the moment. So this could be absolutely amazing if this keeps on going.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, I think we might get really close to a 14, but we will just have to see. Now, I'm going to pass this one on to you as Plugger is just about to go ahead and begin his flying lap here with about 6 to 9 minutes of qualifying left to go. Over to you.
Who was it again?
Plugger.
Plugger, thank you. Where is he? Here we are. So Plugger will be coming down the second DRS straight out of the 4 of them. He's going to head down into turn 3, down to 4th, down to 3rd gear. He's going to get back on the throttle as fast as possible. He's going to head around that corner. He needs much traction through that corner. It can be a make or break for your lap time there. He's going to head up through to 8th gear, down to 6th as he heads through the sharp right-hander. Now he's going to head on to the first back straight here, up through to 8th, burning a bit more ERS. Now he's burned it all the way down to about 20% now. He's going to head through the fast left and right-hander, making sure to keep the top speed up in the car, but also get around the corner. He's going to head through here. As we see Oblivion instead of flat 15, Plugger is going for it. He is pushing to the line as he heads around this hard right-hander. He's going to head into the sharp left-hander here. Another hard left-hander for traction again as he's going to head through. He's going to go up through the gears using as much ERS and DRS as he can get himself. And he's going to go for a 16 flat.
Good time there from the Visa Catch-Up Racing Bull as Oblivion setting a time right dang near to a 114. It's a 115.0, which is absolutely incredible for the current championship leader. A driver who's who's going to really want to kind of reassert himself on the top of the table, and a bit of a snap there from Oblivion as he comes through the corner. But he is a driver that's definitely going to want to kind of reestablish himself as the driver to beat here in Div 2 after Watanabe has held that title for the last 2 race weekends, where he has absolutely dominated the field with gaps of over 20 seconds to P2 at the end of the feature race in Texas and also the Red Bull Ring. As Squash Josh in his Red Bull gets an invalidated lap time due to track limits. So with 4 minutes to go, we're going to potentially see a mad dash of drivers trying to go ahead and set the final best possible lap time, as this track is probably going to be the quickest it'll get here in quali.
Yeah, definitely. We could see a 14.9 if Oblivion is setting those low 15s. Watanabe is out on a outlap right now, as he's heading through the lap at the moment. He is going to be setting a lap time pretty fast. I reckon he could get into the high 14s, the illustrious 14s. Yeah.
Yeah, this could be really, really spicy here. We got 3 minutes of quali left to go here. It can all pretty much change at the drop of a hat here in Div 2, just like how it's been throughout the majority of the season. And we're going to see these guys give absolutely everything coming through these last couple of corners. Watanabe will go ahead and begin a flying lap. We'll go on and ride on board with him here. And here we go. He's now going to go ahead and begin his lap. He is making his way down to turns 1 and 2. Right past where the detection zone is. And now he's going to make his way coming up to turns 3 and 4. Going through the chicane. And now he's going to go ahead and get ready for kind of the fast, tricky part of the track through the remainder of Sector 1 and the first part of Sector 2. He is up by about 8 hundredths of a second, almost 9 hundredths of a second, which is not quite enough. That would maybe put him ahead of Dito, but it would not put him ahead of Oblivion here. He's got a lot of work to do. He's going to go ahead and burn the DRS coming down the first half of this split DRS zone, now on the second half of this DRS zone, as he makes his way coming down into turn number 11. Going to be good on the brakes here. We'll see what that split time is going to be when he comes across the line. But remember, the time to beat is a 1:15.052. And now everybody's on an outlap. So this is going to get absolutely chaotic here in the closing stages of quali. Coming across the line now. And it'll be an improvement of time and position. But he's still 2.5 tenths behind Oblivion. So he'll set time 2 tenths slower. He will jump ahead of Dito, but that's about it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who can go ahead and get provisional or who can get pole in this one. It's going to be between Watanabe, Oblivion, Dito, and maybe somebody else, but definitely these 3 are the drivers to kind of watch right now as Dito's making his way through his flying lap. It is going to be interesting to see where the Williams TP will get placed. He is currently in 3rd position. He had our original fastest lap set at the beginning of quali, but now that's since been taken by Watanabe and Oblivion, as he makes his way to the split DRS zone here. So he's going to go ahead and get fired up and firing all cylinders, making his way through the first half of this DRS zone, going through turns 9 and 10, going to go ahead and give it another go through the DRS zone, and he's going to make his way to turn number 11. We will see. Oblivion and Watanabe cannot set another time as the timer has hit 0. So this is Dito's only shot, his final shot, if he wants to go ahead and jump into pole position here to get a good start for Williams. He's going to go ahead. He gets pretty close to the wall there on corner exit. He's going to come across the line. He will not improve. About 400 or 4,000ths of a second slower there, Aardvark.
Yeah, quite interesting. I reckon the wall cost him a couple of a tenth or two. This could have really slingshotted him to the front row or possibly even pole position. So that is crazy to see.
That is very crazy indeed. We'll see now who else can get some good lap times in. Burrito Man's going to make his way to the line. He will improve up to third actually. So the reserve driver for Mercedes actually does get bumped up into P3, so that's a good lap time there for the Mercedes man. Rift isn't validated, so he won't be setting a lap. And that is qualifying done and dusted here for round number 15 in Div 2. Let's go ahead and run through our quality results here. Oblivion back to the top of the timetables here in Div 2. He will take pole position, followed by Watson AB, Burrito Man, Dito, Rift, Camilo, Swith, Squash Josh, Aussie, Ricardo, Spry, Plugger, Sprinter Giggles, Daniel T, Zenitsu, Cosmic, and Locky, who is serving a quality ban, and who will serve an additional 10-second time penalty at the end of today's Grand Prix. So expect fast and furious racing here in Australia. The home track of Rush Racing League has always been known to bring some fantastic bouts, and I think we're going to see that yet again here in Div 2. Now here's the question, Aardvark. Do you think we're going to see Watson AB try to go for the move early, or do you think he's going to try to win this one out on strategy?
There could be a possibility that he just wins it out on track, gets ahead. He might have been saving a lot of that quali pace just for his race pace tonight. High chance that he's got the strategy underneath his fingernails. So yeah, if he can just whip it out and show everyone that he has got the pace and the strategy in mind, I'm pretty sure he will win.
Yeah, Watson AB is going to have to do, he's going to have to go ahead and do a lot of work here, because Oblivion isn't going to make it easy for him to get that move done. So Oblivion's definitely going to fight him tooth and nail. I mean, we've seen Oblivion fight against Broadsta in Coda, so we know that Oblivion isn't exactly allergic to going wheel to wheel here, as we're about to go to kick off round number 15 of Rush Racing League season number 9. And his lights out in Division 2 is underway. As we see a lot of drivers jockeying for position, there's already drama here between Dito and Burrito Man. Some positions being swapped around, some bits of carbon fiber going ahead and going around. And we are seeing some absolute carnage. Watson Navy is up in the lead, and Rift is spun around. And there is a good amount of carnage.
Is off the track.
Indeed, yeah, so Watson Navy dropping down the order like a stone at the moment. Now he's down in the 14th.
He is lagging a bit. Watanabe is lagging a bit.
Contact with himself and Plugger. Now he drops back down to P14. He's going to try to go and make some moves here. He's going to get up the inside of Daniel T and Ozzy Manero. So he is going to go to continue to try to push and try to get back up to the front, but a very, very rough start for him, and a very good start for Burrito Man, who's up in the second position. In a race where he was reserving here tonight, he's got some pretty good pace there in that Mercedes, as he's going to try to chase him down through the next couple of corners. He's doing pretty solid right now, I must say.
Yeah, definitely. Watanabe challenging the likes of Plugger. His lag really, really showing its colors right now. Yeah, I don't know what is going on, but he is lagging like crazy.
Could be EA server doing EA server things. That was very close between the two.
Yeah, definitely that contact there. He's getting all up and everything with Plugger. He is fighting Plugger. Oh, shove off the track there from Plugger. Watanabe really trying to fight for this position. He wants to get ahead. He knows he can't at the moment. Oh, and he goes off the track. Watanabe off the track, cutting the track a bit there. Possibly due to the dirty air. He gets his rear wing open on Plugger. Will he be able to catch the RB? He does. He goes down the inside. Oh, and he spun.
He spun and
he loses an end plate. Oh, and someone else loses an end plate just ahead. I think it might have been the likes of the RB. Yeah,
no,
the
it's actually
RB of...
Well,
Yeah,
the RB2,
both.
but the
Yeah,
Haas is also
Watanabe
missing both end plates
yeah.
and
Oh, it is. Oh,
substantial
yeah, it
damage.
is. Yeah, that is substantial, and he will be pitting Watanabe and the RB of I think that is Kyotonic have missing end plates while Watanabe is lagging like there is no tomorrow.
Yeah, so he's gonna go and try to get up the inside now of the Racing Bulls, and he's gonna go and go deep onto the brakes. But now we're gonna jump back to this battle for the lead after having a little bit of midfield drama, as Burrito Man and Oblivion have been trading positions back and forth here throughout this race. So it'll be fun to watch these guys go to give it their all, as Dino pretty much has a front row seat to the action. If Oblivion and Burrito Man come to blows, then we know that Dino is going to be a direct beneficiary here, as he will go ahead and benefit massively from that. And now he's going to try to close into the back of the Mercedes reserve driver here tonight, and he's going to continue to push on and try to do what he can to try to shake for a move and get ready for an overtake, because now it's going to be a three-way DRS train here, as the Ferrari does move to the side to try to break the slipstream. Burrito Man using a good amount of the clear to try to close in the gap, and he is going to keep that position for now. But I think he's really just going to try to close in the gap, as Watanabe does have the fastest lap of the race here so far. Squash Josh is able to close in the gap a bit as well. So it's been a chaotic opening few laps here at the Australia Grand Prix, but it's always chaotic here in the land down under, isn't it, Aardvark?
Yeah, definitely. Whether you think it's from our wildlife, but the racing here is even more chaotic. It is absolutely crazy in these parts.
And to think that this isn't even the most chaotic Australian track that exists, because you got Bathurst. Bathurst exists, and but yeah, we do love this track here at Melbourne. It's providing good racing and always a little bit of drama, just to spice things up, as we've seen here tonight. As Burrito Man is going to continue to try to close in the gaps, potentially a bit of a brake lock up there for the Mercedes, as he's trying to chase down Oblivion here, trying to disrupt Oblivion's return to the top, as he's been handily beaten by Watanabe in rounds past. Specifically these last two rounds, he has been on form, but Watanabe getting caught up in that early incident wasn't really going to do himself any favors. Burrito Man had Dino coming up the back, potentially wanting to try to get the jump. And once again, the good defense from Burrito Man will go ahead and keep himself out of harm's way, and he'll keep his position safe and sound. But yeah, this has been a very, very, very fun but very chaotic opening few laps here on Mark.
Yeah, definitely. Watanabe dropping from second on the grid all the way down to 12th. This is absolutely chaotic in these parts, so yeah.
Indeed, as these guys are going to go ahead and get ready to go here. They're going to continue to fight it out. Squash Josh is somebody who really should not be forgotten here at this stage, because he's pretty quick around here, and he's also pretty much been right out the back of these guys here up at the front. He's been right at the back of Dino, Burrito, and Oblivion, as they all make their way onto lap number 6 out of 29 here at the Australian Grand Prix. So good amount of racing still yet to come here, as these guys are giving it absolutely their all on this track, trying to go ahead and make some positions now. There's some good spots for overtaking, but with the DRS train, even in those good overtaking spots, it can be difficult to close the gap enough here to make the overtake. So drivers got to really kind of pick and choose their battles here and try to pick these times when they should really just go for the move here. Because, I mean, not all opportunities are equal, and if you get too risky, then you might end up with a few missing end plates.
Yeah, definitely risk. Reward comes with risk, and unfortunately, it's only been risk for Wonton tonight as he finds himself down in 12th position. So, absolute problematic for Aston Martin, who are currently trying to take home the overalls, leading the overalls at the moment, but they are absolutely struggling with Wonton in 12th and Ricciardo in 8th, so not a good Div 2 night for them.
Especially compared to the last two Div 2 nights here. I mean, we've seen that Watana can be very quick on his day, and he has been pretty exceptional here, especially once again in these last 2 weeks. He's really come alive. Taking a look now at the positional change here. Locky, who actually started a quali ban, is up 6 positions now. He is up into 11th. So, good stuff there from Locky. Another driver who's made a good amount of positions is Sprinter Giggles, who is also up 6 positions. But we do have 3 drivers who do have pens here on the night. It is Rift, Plugger, and Zenitsu. And then, of course, Locky does have a post-race penalty that he will have to serve. Here's the tires for everything right now. A majority of the field running on that medium compound with a few drivers opting to run the hards. And a team that has actually been doing pretty solid here tonight has got to be Red Bull, because they're P4 and P5. And taking a look at their current placement in the overalls, they're currently down in the 5th place in the overalls, not too far behind Mercedes. So this could be a really big night for them. In the constructor standings for Div 2, Red Bull is currently down into 6th. So pretty good points on offer tonight for Red Bull. We'll just see if they can get it done here as we're on lap 8 out of 29 in this Grand Prix here, Aardvark.
Yeah, definitely. Lap 8, I mean, as Burrito sets the fastest lap on the hard tire at the moment, and Camillo gets a 3-second time penalty, so there is a lot more action to come. Obviously, we have the Red Bulls up in 4th, 5th, Dito in the Williams in 3rd, Oblivion now drops to 2nd as Burrito Man now takes the lead of the race on the hard tires. So this will be a very, very interesting race if Burrito Man continues to pull out that gap.
Indeed, and for a while there, it looked like he was actually about to break DRS range from Oblivion, but thinking about it at a moment come to like the final chicane, because Oblivion's pretty much caught right back up to him. Oblivion going to go ahead and use the clear air to cool off the engine bit, and now he's going to go ahead and give chase to Burrito Man as they go through the sector. And so we're going to see who's going to go ahead and win out this exchange, and he's going to try to send it up the inside. It's going to be a risky one. He's not quite going to get it. He's going to try, though. He got the nose in there, but ultimately just came up a bit short. But he doesn't have to wait too long. He's not even going to wait. He's going to get the move done just before the DRS detection zone. So that will give Burrito Man a good shot here to try to retake the position, as he will have DRS, and Dito will as well. So this could be a very spicy one. Around the outside goes Burrito Man. He had the DRS, he had the speed, and he got the move done and dusted as easy as you like it. And now he's up into P1 again. But here we go, and there's the defensive move. Now the thing about that DRS zone, it really acts like a split DRS zone, because there isn't another detection zone for that second little micro DRS zone. So because he had DRS coming through the first zone, or first half of the zone as I like to call it, he had DRS again going through the second one, even though he was in the lead of the race. So it's a really interesting chicane, as now he goes on the defensive from Oblivion.
Yeah, definitely. Oblivion will be trying to hold on. Those, I believe, medium tires will be trying and get past those hard tires as he needs to catch him. And they're going to go side by side in the high traction zone of turn 4 or turn 5, whatever it is. And Oblivion is ahead, and Oblivion smacks into the wall, and that will be Burrito Man ahead of him. Burrito Man now has the provisional lead of this race, but the DRS will be given to Oblivion, in which he'll be able to fight Burrito Man for the lead. Unfortunately, no lead change yet, and it seems like there's a bunch of bumper drafting going on between the lot. It's like Oblivion turned into a NASCAR, because the bump drafting that Oblivion was giving Burrito Man, as Burrito gets a nasty snap on the exit there. That was his car. Oblivion now stuck in second as he pits for a fresh set of tyres, probably the hard tyre at the moment, to go to the end, as we will see Dido and Burrito Man continue.
Indeed, yeah, they're going to go on for another lap. At least Burrito Man's probably going to try to go on a few extra laps because, once again, bringing up the tires, Burrito Man is the only car that is in the top 10 that is on the hard compounded tires. So everybody else is likely going to come in the next lap to jump onto a set of hards, while Burrito Man is going to be jumping onto a set of mediums. Probably a few laps later. It's probably, I would venture to say, maybe around, I'm going to give it like lap 17 maybe closer to lap 19 is probably when we're going to see those hard tires start to kind of fall away and give way to the mediums, and then you can run the mediums again for another 10 laps, but we will just have to see. We do have Ricciardo trying to go ahead and close in the gap to Sprinter Giggles, who has had a fantastic race here so far, and these guys are going to go ahead and duke it out, as Sprinter's now up 8 positions in today's race. So he has been having a fantastic day in that McLaren. Bit rough around the edges for qualifying, and that's a massive snap there, and a bit of lawn mowing done there by Ricciardo as these drivers rush in to get rid of those medium compound tires here on Mark. This is going to be really interesting to see now as Aston Martin double stacks. So that's a bit of an interesting call. Aston Martin is double stacked here.
Yeah, this is even more controversy for Watanabe, and he will now be demoted to last place, and he also needed to repair his front wing. This is absolutely problematic, as Cosmic gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. So now Watanabe out of the pits, and he is going to get back on his way with a fresh front wing. So he is going to have to fight all the way from the back and hopefully try and catch up. Within 17 laps he has to get out of the bottom 2 and hopefully into a point finishing place so that he can score some points tonight.
Indeed, yeah, so it's been a bit of a tough night here for Watanabe, especially considering that this is so close to the end of the season. We only got a handful of rounds left to go here. There's only 3 more rounds after this. We have to Barcelona, Canada, and then China to wrap things up. So it is coming closer and closer to the end of season 9. And it's crazy how fast season 9 kind of came and gone. I mean, it really feels like no time at all between I still remember pretty vividly the evaluation races we did towards the beginning of June. So, but it's crazy to see, just how intense the season has been just over the weeks, as we are currently getting closer and closer to the halfway point of today's event. So probably the next 2 laps will officially be kind of the halfway stage of the race. And I think the strat now for the hard runners is probably coming around lap 15 to switch onto the hard tire, or onto the mediums, and then try to have them go to the end here which is going to be interesting because some of these medium runners have pitted for the hard tires around like lap 10. So, I mean, just taking a look at the tires, it's going to be, you're going to try to put about 19 laps on a set of hard tires if you pitted it on lap number 10. So, it'll be interesting to see who can keep those tires in the best window or whose tires are going to absolutely fall off. As Lockheed gets another penalty, Ricciardo gets past Ozzy Manero, and that'll be a move that's about as easy as you'd like it to be. And we're seeing some really good scraps up and down the field here, Aardvark.
Yeah, definitely. We are seeing some absolutely amazing battles. The one between Lockie and Drift and Plugger seems to be the most active one at the moment, as we have these three cars all fighting for position at the moment. The likes of the Williams, the Sauber, and the RB here.
Yeah, they're absolutely just fighting it out here tonight. As we're seeing quite a few drivers getting hit with those 3-second time pens here, so it's unfortunate but not surprising. It is a pretty easy track to invalidate and or get track limit violations on. So it's just try to keep your nose clean, as Daniel T will get a penalty himself. He will go to get an additional 3-second pen. It might actually be his first. It is his first, yeah, so there's currently 5 drivers on a 3-second time penalty here in today's race. And I got a feeling that there might be more. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this is commentators' reverse psychology coming into play here. But now Dino is pretty much right at the back of Oblivion. He's about half a second back. He's going to try to close in the gap. He will have the DRS to close in said gap. But once again, too much real estate in between these cars to actually go ahead and get it done. We are seeing some positional changes, and what happened to Camilo? Camilo had a bit of a moment earlier on, and actually that moment is his time to come into the pit, so nothing catastrophic there for the McLaren, as I previously thought. Just a pit stop to jump onto the hard tires for the rest of the race. And oh, there is a bit of contact there. Just unfortunate timing coming out of the pits as Cosmic punts or kind of taps the front left of Camilo, causing him to have a bit of a snap and spin there. As now we are seeing Dino trying to close in the gap here, trying to reel in Oblivion as Manero just lost 2 positions through the DRS zone. As these guys are continuing to scrap it out. Lockie getting one up the inside of Ozzy Manero. He will jump into P12 here on the Sprinter Giggles, who's been having a really strong race. We'll go ahead and get past Spry. Spry has entered the pits in his Ferrari, so it probably won't be too long, because Burrito Man is losing a good amount of time to Dito and Oblivion here. The gap that was at 14 seconds a few laps ago is now down to less than 10. So if you're a Burrito Man here in this case, Aardvark, what lap would you pit in on to go ahead and get rid of those aging hard tires?
Probably lap 18, as we know most people are pitting off the medium tires around lap 10, lap 11. So we want to be looking around lap 18, lap 19 to kind of just get off these aging hard tires. Obviously the undercut has already come into effect. Starting on the hard tires was already a bad decision. So he's either going to have to fight his way through the field, or he's going to struggle towards the end of this race. So yeah, this is quite a predicament that Burrito Man has put himself into. So we'll just have to wait and find out. We do have an onboard view for Oblivion. Watch him for the 18th lap of this Grand Prix. So Rekus, there we are, cool. He's going to head through the first 2 corners now, using a bit of battery, as he has a pretty much full battery. He's going to be looking to kind of chase after the likes of Burrito Man. The undercut really coming into effect. The time is being cut down, absolutely chomped into, as he's already gained over a second in just a couple of corners. So Burrito's man's tires are absolutely fried at this point in time. And we do have Dito right on the back of Oblivion, but Oblivion's going to burn a lot of his battery going down this back straight, making sure that that DRS does not come into effect, but it's still coming into effect no matter how much battery he burns. He cannot escape the 25 kilometer difference in speed from the DRS. So he is trying his absolute hardest to stay out of the threat zone from the DRS, which is about 3 or 4 tenths. If they are that close, they will most likely catch you towards the end. We do have 12 laps to go, and Dito is just trying to stay with Oblivion at the moment, and we do see Burrito Man go into the pits now, so yeah, we're waiting on that.
Indeed, yeah, so Burrito Man now coming out in P5 at the moment, but he does have the advantage of having those brand new medium tires, which are going to take about a lap or two to get fired up, and then they're going to go ahead and absolutely be cooking. So Burrito has a really good chance to try to close in the gap here. You got Dito behind, trying to go ahead and push him. Trying to push once again to try to jump up into that P1 position. Try to get a win here for Williams. He's going to try to close in the gap. He will close in the gap, and he'll have DRS again. So he's going to go ahead and open up the rear flap on that rear wing. And he's going to go ahead and try to move this overtake task to complete it on his Jira board. As he's going to go ahead and continue to try to press and try to get past Oblivion. He's going to be late on the brakes, and he's going to get super close here. But overall, it looks like he might have a pretty good shot here. About half a second. And Oblivion's just burning that. Actually, Oblivion's got full battery here, so Dito burned more battery than he did on that lap. So this might actually still go the way of Oblivion, but it is going to be absolutely chaotic here as we are approaching the final 10 laps of round number 15 here at the Australian Grand Prix. And it's going to be fast and furious up until the end here, as these guys are going to car their way through Albert Park. And we are seeing these guys just absolutely give it everything as Watanabe does get the pass done onto Plugger, and these guys are going side by side. Contact between the two. Oh, and into the wall goes Plugger. Gets absolutely punted by Watanabe, and that is massive damage to the front wing of Plugger, who does cut the track just because he just doesn't have the downforce to take that corner normally without losing a ton of speed. Dito's still right on the back of Oblivion here. These guys are going to continue to fight it out tooth and nail. I mean, we are seeing some bizarre incidents happening here in this race, but we are seeing some very, very predictably good racing here as well, as Dito continues to try to put pressure onto Oblivion. 10 laps to go here in the Australian Grand Prix. Just going ahead and taking a look through our field. It is Oblivion to Dito, 2 Squash Josh with Burrito Man, Sprinter Giggles, Ricardo, Locky, Watanabe Plugger, Rift, Spry, Ozzy, Zenitsu, Camilo, Danielzy, and Cosmic in tonight's session. It is myself, Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, in the booth alongside Aardvark, as we are on the final 10 laps of the Grand Prix. Now, I know it is a bit early here, Aardvark, but do you have a candidate for driver of the day here today?
Let me just have a look at the amount of positions that a lot of these drivers have gained. I think I will have to go with Lockie. He has absolutely smashed it from... Actually, I don't think I will go with Lockie, but I will go with Dito, though. He has been holding on to the likes of Oblivion. Oblivion has been just taking it away along with Wontok, but unfortunately Wontok's just not up there today. But I do believe that Dito is fighting for the win here, and I'm going to go with Dito.
As of right now, I'm going to probably lock in my pick a few moments later, but I'm actually thinking about Sprinter because Sprinter is another driver who has actually had some really good positional changes. He's up 6 positions himself. So, and with no penalties, so I think he's in a pretty good spot here. He's getting the most positions here out of anybody aside from Lockie. And Lockie does have a track limit pen that he'll serve in the race, and then a 10-second post-race penalty that he'll have to serve. As now Watson maybe tries to go to think about a move up the inside. He will have to wait again for another go at things, but with about 9 laps to go here on the track, it is going to be absolutely chaotic here in the final stages as Camilo gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in pit lane. His night just keeps going from bad to worse.
Yeah, unfortunately, his night does keep going from bad to worst, which is quite unfortunate because penalties will cost you a lot more than you believe, but Plugger has retired from the race. So this is quite unfortunate. By the looks of it, RB is not having the best of nights tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, this is definitely going to be a night to forget for that team. The team who is currently pretty much P9 in the Constructors' Championship here. They're only behind Haas, and even then, that's only an 8-point difference between the two. So, and with Haas having only one car, they're going to outscore the Racing Bulls here tonight. So, that's going to be some positional changes here, as the Haas driver is well and truly ahead of Cosmic. So Zenitsu will, and actually Racing Bulls isn't even in the points this time. Zenitsu not too deep into the points. He's only in P14, and in Rush Racing League points go down to the top 15 instead of the top 10 like in traditional Formula 1. But Haas is going to be in a pretty interesting spot as Bruno Man has fired up those mediums, and he's looking to take his first victim of Swift. Gonna try to fire her on the outside, and he's got the move? Question mark? Question mark. Period. He's got that move done and dusted. And now he's up into 4th position, and now he's gonna try to chase down Squash Josh, who is about 3 seconds ahead, a little less than that, as Dino once again still giving chase here to Oblivion.
Yeah, definitely. Dito just keeps inching closer, and then Oblivion keeps pushing him back. It is a losing battle at the moment for Dito, being stuck in the dirty air. The tires have got to be roasting at the moment. The only thing that can get worse from here is if either one of them get a 3-second time penalty for track limits.
And speaking of track limits, Cosmic does get another pen for track limit violations here on the night, as we are seeing some good racing up and down this field. Dito is going to go back into DRS range now. Going to try to close in the gap ever so slightly to Oblivion.
And Oblivion has a snap, and through goes Dito. Dito is ahead. Dito is now in the lead of this race. Oblivion had a driver error and is now in 2nd place. He is going to struggle to get back ahead. He has the DRS on Dito. Dito is taking the defensive line. Oblivion will be wanting to avoid that dirty air. He's now going to be stuck behind Dito. Dito will now be under pressure. He needs to hold this position. If Oblivion can't get by, this will be Dito's race to win. Burrito Man, 3-second time penalty for track limits. Oblivion now is coming through the high traction zone where they need to keep it up. Oblivion now 6/10 off of Dito. Dito now pushing ahead. Oblivion with his full battery is going to blast it down the first of the back straight, the 3rd DRS zone for the lap. He is going to keep pushing and pushing. The battery is on. He is absolutely gunning for Dito. Dito saving the battery a bit to defend on the 2nd part of this DRS. And Oblivion will be burning his battery like crazy again. Dito needing to just save his battery a bit more. Oblivion still stuck behind Dito, unable to get ahead. They are really starting to struggle for traction now as the tyres are just absolutely starting to fry. 13 laps for Oblivion. Oblivion on the older tyre here. Dito has a high chance of staying ahead, but the DRS is going to help and keep Oblivion within play here. Oblivion needs to just keep pushing. He has 4 laps to catch Dito. This is going to be an absolute amazing fight to the end.
Indeed, and that end is pretty close here. It is 5 laps to go here officially on the night. 5 laps including the lap we are currently on. And it's 5 laps for these drivers to kind of sort things out. Watson Navy has been on a pretty solid recovery drive here. He is now pretty much right out the back of Sprinter now. These two are going to do battle here, but we cannot look away from this battle for the lead for too long, because that's when something is going to happen. As Oblivion's going to close in the gap in that Ferrari, and he is going to go ahead and try to push with every fiber of his being. We have a onboard request for Dito at the start of the next lap, and we are going to go ahead and fulfill that as Dito is going to go ahead and make his way through. We'll go and watch it from this view, because that way we can just see how close Oblivion is going to go ahead and get, as he's going to go ahead and make his way down into turns 1 and 2. We'll see Oblivion get kind of close there, as now the DRS zone will kick in. And now he's going to go ahead and try to push down the DRS zone. I think maybe somebody had a little bit of a brush of the wall there. Maybe I'm just hearing things, but Dito did get very close to the wall there. And now he's going to go and make his way through Sector 2, or the opening stages of Sector 2 before the real fast part of the circuit, or of the sector I should say. And now Oblivion does have DRS. He's going to try to close in the gap. Trying to close it. He is closing the gap, but not by nearly enough to get a move done here. And now we're in the second half of the DRS zone. He's catching up to a Racing Bull here. But for the most part, Dito's been very strong here at this stage of the race. And now he's going to probably try to hold on to that position for dear life, as we are about to have 3 to go, and Cosmic is off the track. This will allow Dito and Oblivion to come on through. And now we have 3 laps to go of racing action. Now here's some bold prediction. Do you think Oblivion is going to get this race win, or do you think Dito's going to hold on here?
Yeah, I definitely think that Oblivion could push. He does have the battery level probably to get ahead of Dito. Dito does have the right amount of battery. Oblivion with a pretty bad exit out of that corner, now down to 9/10. He's going to have to push a bit more if he wants to catch Dito. Dito will be pushing like his life depends on it. He only has to survive for 2.5 more laps. So let's keep going with this, as now Oblivion is going to come up alongside Dito. He's going to hold back for now. Dito will be charging his battery, as Oblivion needs to get ahead here. He needs to be pushing for Dito, but he's just going to hold on. He's going to be waiting for the DRS. He's probably going to wait for the last lap, as he needs that DRS to absolutely just get past Dito. Oblivion will be waiting, as there is blue flags for something, I believe. I don't know what, but there was blue flags for a second. And now Oblivion will be trying to just stay with Dito at this point in time. He's going to catch up, and Dito will be saving his battery just that bit more to make sure that he has enough to defend for the final lap, as Oblivion is just going to keep slotting in behind him right up until the final lap, in which he will just push ahead with his massive battery pack that Oblivion has, and Dito also has an almost full battery pack as well. So we are just waiting for this to happen.
Indeed, yeah, we're just waiting for this battle, and I think that we're about to hit the crescendo here, so we're going to go ahead and get our driver of the day poll in chat here very, very shortly. And we have 4 options for you today. We'll go ahead and give it about 2 minutes so we can have this done pretty much right at the end, as Watanabe gets a 3-second time penalty for track limit violations here, as the poll is now in the chat. Hopefully, guys, go ahead and get involved and give us your opinions on driver of the day, as we're about to go to begin the final lap of the Australian Grand Prix here, as Dito is going to go ahead and try to give it his all here, coming down to the line. And it is lap 29 here. Final lap of the race, and Oblivion is going to have to make or break this one. And we're going to see how these drivers go ahead and get things going. He's going to close in the gap, but he's not going to make the dive now. There's better opportunities for the Ferrari man to get a move here, and he is going to continue to go ahead and lock in and try to get close. He's in a pretty good spot here. Dito is got about half the battery that Oblivion does at this stage, and now they're about to hit the split DRS zone. So this is prime time for Oblivion to get this move done and dusted as they make their way through. Oblivion going to try to go to the center on the outside. Who's going to get the move? Oblivion does get the move. Oblivion up into the lead of the race, and I think that might be the overtake that does seal the deal for him. And he's going to go ahead and get this done. He's going to go ahead and push for it and fight for it. Coming to the last couple of corners now. He's been second place a few times here, but after a few tough rounds, he may finally be back on the top step of the podium, as Oblivion is going to come across the line, and Oblivion wins the Australian Grand Prix. Dito gave it everything. He's gotten all burritos into the wall here at the final straight. So that's going to put Squash Josh in second, Swith in third, and that Mercedes was struggling across the line. He'll come across the line there in the P5. Cosmic will finish at P16, and then Sprinter will come on P5. Lockie will have a in-game penalty and a actual post-race penalty that he will have to serve. So that's going to be how that one wraps up. But man, what a chaotic race we've had here, Aardvark.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely chaotic, in my opinion. So, yeah, absolutely chaotic tonight.
Dito will get the driver of the day, as he is going to go ahead and get at least a little bit of extra bragging rights. That would be extra point about towards the beginning of the season, but now that point has switched over to the driver who was the cleanest driver. So we're going to go ahead and get our results here and then get our superlatives, and then we'll jump straight to the interviews with Dito, with Oblivion, and with the rest of the podium with Squash Josh. So Red Bull getting a pretty good podium. We were thinking that Watanabe was going to be a force here, but he just couldn't quite recover from that lap 1 incident. But the celebration is going live. Championship leader will extend his lead here tonight after a very chaotic Australian Grand Prix, and these guys are going to absolutely enjoy this one. This was a hard-fought battle straight to the end, and we actually do not have a cleanest driver this time around, at least on my end. We have fastest lap goes to Camilo.
Yeah, no cleanest driver.
So I guess no point for anybody here at this stage. So we're going to go ahead and run through our final results here before jumping to interviews. It is Oblivion to Dito, to Squash Josh, to Swith, Burrito Man, Sprinter, and then we have Spry, Ricciardo, Lockie, Ozzy Manero, Rift, Zenitsu, Daniel T, Watanabe, Camilo, then Cosmic, and Plugger, our last 2 cars on the grid here tonight. So we're going to go in and try to get these guys in for some quick interviews. So for Squash Josh, for Dito, and for Oblivion, if you 3 could come into the comms box, we'll go ahead and have a quick interview with you guys, and then we're going to go ahead and sunset the stream here. But what a race it was here, Aardvark. It was just chaotic from start to finish.
Yeah, definitely. Absolute chaos. Yeah, a lot of absolute chaos tonight. So this was quite disappointing to see, especially from Div 2. I thought some of the driving standards here would have been a lot better. But yeah, unfortunately not.
Indeed, yeah. So we'll just kind of have to see how this one goes. But once again, Oblivion does take the race win here today, so we'll be on. We'll be chatting with him hopefully once we go ahead and get some interviews rolling. We'll give it a few minutes, but we'll give it about till about 45 past, and then if not, then we'll go ahead and end this one early. But I mean, this does have massive championship implications in both the overalls and also for the just for the in-class championship here. It's it's been a pretty tight season here for the most part, but Oblivion will extend his championship lead. Dita will come home with a good amount of points, and Watson AB, he was strong the last 2 weeks, but this week just really wasn't this week, as we do have Dito actually in the comms box, and we do have Oblivion as well, so we got 2 out of our top 3. And while we wait on Squash Josh, I will let you go ahead and begin the interviews with P2 and driver of the day. Aardvark, Dito's with you.
Hey Ditto, unfortunately not the best of race results. You only were able to secure P2 tonight. Unfortunately, Oblivion took home the win, bigger battery pack at the end there, plus DRS, so quite unfortunate for you.
Yeah, mate. It is what it is, really. He's fast, man. He's been the guy to beat all season, so to become that close, I'm happy with that. Didn't really have the best tyre wear towards the end there, and obviously the battery had to use it to hold him off. So yeah, didn't really go the way obviously I was hoping, but podium is a podium, mate. And yeah, pretty grateful to even be near that spot, to be fair. It's a pretty chaotic race at the start.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, basically you played it perfectly. Unfortunately, Watanabe falling off, putting yourself into P2 must have been quite a scary situation, especially with all the carnage at the start. How did you just kind of deal with it and stay out of it all?
Yeah, I'm honestly not really sure what happened. I'll have to look back at it, but yeah, there was 2 cars on the inside, and then all of a sudden there wasn't. And then there were a lot of yellow flags and stuff, and then there's the top 3 just sort of sailed away for a bit, and I was thinking, that'll be a safety car, but it didn't. But yeah, I'm sure that they'll be looked at after. There was a few people involved in that. I'm not really sure what happened there, but just had to hold on, mate. I got sort of pushed onto that curb on the inside, so I had to just hope that the traction and stuff on the outside there, and I managed to pull through. But yeah, it could have been pretty gnarly because there was just cars going everywhere, so it could have ended at the start, but just had to lock in at the end there and just get the podium.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you on P2. That's all I have to say at the moment. So yeah, congrats.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Go.
All right, Dito. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions here before we go ahead and let you enjoy your night. Just looking ahead at the rest of the season, there's only 3 rounds left of the season. We go to Spain, Canada, and China. Do you think there's any potential for you to get a win at any of these coming circuits?
God, I don't know, man. Certainly not China. China will be one I'll be terrible at. I hate that track. But the other 2, who knows? Do enough practice, we'll see. The end of the day, mate, it's honestly just trying to lock in P2 in the standings, but we're more just trying to do overalls at the moment, just trying to get as far up as we can. So I'd love to get wins, obviously, but these aren't my strongest tracks coming up. Been pretty lucky with having a few good results lately. Been a bit unlucky as well, but yeah, it's been the story of the season. Just got to take it as it comes. I wasn't really expecting to be P2 tonight after the start, but then it happens. So have to wait and see, mate.
All right, last question before we go ahead and let you go. Is there anyone you'd like to give a special thanks or shout out to here tonight?
Obviously, shout out Williams. Shout out the engineer tonight. Really helped me out, keep calm, and shout out Lockie from starting from the back. He had a tough race, and yeah, shout out everyone else that this annoyed me getting a podium. But yeah, hope it annoys you more.
All right, well, once again, congratulations on the podium, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, bro.
All right, we're going to go ahead and jump on board with our next interview. We do have Squash Josh here with us, I believe.
Hello, hello.
All right, Squash Josh. So, a pretty good result here for Red Bull this time around. So, how do you feel? I mean, you got P3 and I believe P4 in this race.
Oh, just absolute shout out to Siva and myself for tonight. I think we qualified 8th and 9th, so to come away with P3-4, we're pretty stoked. Very, very happy for the team.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, there was a good amount of chaos at the get-go of the race, and weathering that really did help you guys out. So, ultimately, how was the race from your guys' perspective? Because, I mean, there is a good amount of chaos happening, especially there at the get-go.
I don't know what happened. I think it was heading into turn 3. All I saw was a sideways kick. And then I look up and I'm in P4 or 5 or something like that. And Siba, knowing that I was running slightly less wing, was very generous and let me go on that next DRS straight. And yeah, I was just happy to sort of tow him along and keep him in the DRS. And yeah, came out of the box and just watched Burrito mow that time down on those fresh mediums. But knowing that they were going to die pretty quickly was the one saving grace. And then he got his 3 seconds. So yeah, very, very happy to come away with a P3-4.
Indeed, and we have 3 more rounds here left of the season. It is Barcelona, Canada, and China. Do you think you might be able to grab another podium in any of these 3 upcoming tracks here in the remainder of the season?
Yes, I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. We'll see. We'll see how they play out. You never know how the start of these races are going to go. People go crazy lap 1, turn 1. So you know, you just got to keep it clean. Pray that you don't get any damage and manage the race from there.
Alright, last question before I hand you over to Aardvark. Is there anyone else you'd like to give a special thanks or shout out to? I know you had a little bit of a shout out at the beginning, but anyone else?
Yeah, just David and the D2S boys that were engineering me tonight. Very helpful.
Alright, well, once again, congratulations on the podium, and I'll pass you over to Aardvark.
Thanks, Matt.
Hey Josh, a pretty standard race for you. You didn't get into any problems tonight, so the podium basically came from just pure pace and just keeping it safe and tidy out there tonight. So I reckon a well-deserved result. Is there anything you think that you did a bit better than anybody else that kind of put you there?
Oh, look, it was just avoiding that sideways kick on lap 1 that really opened that race up for me, and then I managed to get my second track limits warning on lap 9, and so it was just a case of keep it between the white lines and go as quickly as you could doing so for the rest of the race. So yeah, just, you know, tyre management's always a strong suit of mine on this game, so yeah, I was able to just sort of get in a lap or 2 earlier before the recommended strategy and sort of hold on to those hards to the end.
Yeah, definitely. So the strategy and the pace has played out today, getting you that podium. So absolute yeah, just congratulations to you tonight. Amazing P3 result for you and for the Red Bull team, who have been needing to get some points on the board lately. So good on you.
Yeah, we've been desperate for some good results. So nice to. I'm actually not sure where our Div 4 boys placed, but nice to sort of go into the week with a strong P3-4.
Yeah, definitely. That's all I have for you. Congrats on P3, and yeah, enjoy your night, man.
Thanks, mate.
Alright, so last but most certainly not least, we're going to go ahead and jump on board with the race winner of Oblivion. So I'll go to begin this one. And Oblivion, it's been a while coming. You've been wanting to jump back onto this top step for a few weeks now, and you're finally back here. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. It's a pretty tricky race. Mate, it was pretty scruffy throughout the whole thing. Quality felt alright. I honestly thought I was not going to keep up with Dito there. My tyres weren't looking too good. So I'll take it. It's a good result, obviously. But I think I'm pretty lucky with that one. I haven't slept after doing an 8-hour at Bahrain last night, so I'm going to bed after this.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, but hey, you pulled off here and pulled off an amazing win here, pretty much down to the wire. Now, speaking about the championship, you are the championship leader still by a pretty good margin with about 3 rounds to go. Do you think there's any possibility of you clinching this championship before we get to China, or do you think this one's going to come down to the wire?
I'll give it a go, as I do every race. But we'll see what happens. Every race is different, and yeah, there's good drivers on this grid. I think if Brodster was in tonight, I wouldn't have won. This is one of his better tracks. I've seen it. So, yeah, if he was in, it would have been P2 or P3. So, yeah, there's quick drivers, and we'll give it a crack at every one of them.
Alright, last question before I pass you over to Alvark. Is there anyone you'd like to give a special thanks or a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, the shout to the Ferrari boys. Good vibes and good lads in the team. And it was a good day for us. I'd like to shout out Spry, a good comeback drive from his lap 1 incident. And yeah, that's about it.
Alright, well once again, congratulations on your win, and I will pass you over to Aardvark if he's got any other questions or comments.
Yeah, definitely. Oblivion, absolutely amazing race tonight. You pulled home the win. You were able to just use your battery as your biggest advantage towards the end there. Yeah, you were holding this massive battery pack all race, just keeping it really, really high, and you're able to use that in your advantage against Dito. You needed that to win, and as we saw, it came in really, really handy. You just burning the entire thing away on that final lap, and you were able to just catch him immediately, and Dito could not do anything to stop you. So that was quite the predicament that Dito was forced under. So yeah, what was your idea behind just staying behind him all the time and then kind of just holding on to that battery?
Well, obviously, I pitted a lap earlier, so I was in that moment where he was behind me. I was thinking I could use the DRS to help me stay with him, so I could kind of ease off in the corners a little bit. Obviously, not too much, because I was quite messy tonight. There was a few moments where I thought I hit a few walls on the exit of turn 5 and on the final corner, so I was lucky not to get damaged. So I was just thinking if I could take it easier and not spin the rears too much, I could just stick with him in the DRS and help me stay with him. I could save the battery a little bit more than what I was staying in front of him and save the tyres. So yeah, by the time I got to that final lap, I was getting close to puncture territory. Wasn't quite in it, but yeah, had the battery saved up, and yeah, Dito was nice and fair with it. He understood that he didn't necessarily have the battery to compete, and you know that's all you can ask for is nice clean. And fair play to Dito. He was really quick today. He deserved this result, and if not more. So fair play to him. But yeah, it was just about thinking about the situation I was in, and with the battery and tyres and the offset to Dito. We were gaining massively on Burrito there when he hadn't pit yet, so we were working together, and I was dragging him along with me. So it was a good race from Dito tonight as well. It was a bit of a brain ticker, but yeah, I think it was the right strategy to go about it.
Yeah, definitely. Down into turn 11, you had a massive slip, and it caused Dito to just push ahead of you. What was your what happened to there? You just got a bit greedy on the throttle, on that curb there, which caused the car to come unsettled.
Yeah, pretty much. I had a few of those throughout the race. It was just a matter of a mix of being tired and a lot of driving over the last 24 hours. So it was just getting to me a bit. So yeah, it was just it was a matter of ironing out those mistakes as much as possible. But I knew every lap that it was going to be like a mistake was bound at some point. It was pretty scrappy. So yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing performance tonight. Keeping Dito behind, despite everything that happened down into turn 3. I think it was with Wonton, you were still able to maintain the race win here tonight. So yeah, amazing result from you, and good job on the win.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the comms.
Alrighty then, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up here for Division number 2 at Rush Racing League. Australia is already kicking off to a really high intensity here, and we're going to go ahead and send this one off. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in, as always, and a massive thank you to Sim Racing Center, Paddington, SimLab, and of course AI369. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring the series, and tune in next time when we go ahead and head into, I believe Div 6 is next, I think, or is it Div 3?
Div 5.
Div 5 is
Div
next.
5.
So Division 5 is going to be next up, so tune in tomorrow for that. But until then, on behalf of Aardvark, my name has been Patrick Coleman, aka Ruckus, and we have been your hosts and commentators for tonight's action, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.